A hypersonic anti-stealth missile screams toward a US B-2 over the South China Sea. 42 seconds to decide between humiliation or war. Does it hit? What happens next will redraw the risk calculus in the Pacific, in under 90 seconds. China attacks a US B-2 Spirit. They made a very big mistake. August 12, 2025. In the disputed skies above Scarborough Shoal, the unthinkable happens. A Chinese HQ-19 anti-stealth missile erupts from a coastal battery 142 nautical miles away, streaking toward one of only 19 B-2 bombers on Earth. Price tag, $2.1 billion. Payload, 40,000 pounds of precision ordnance. Purpose, appear on radar no bigger than a bird. The interceptor climbs to Mach 14, built to erase ghosts, and it has just found one. Inside the B-2's cockpit, a missile warning flares. In 42 seconds, the kill vehicle will cross 50 miles. The pilot banks hard, dumps electronic countermeasures, and slides the jet's tiny radar cross-section into a notch of sky the enemy can't resolve. A white flash, then emptiness. The HQ-19 detonates off target. The entire encounter lasts 1 minute 54 seconds. But in those seconds, a line is crossed. Alarms ripple through Indo-Pacific Command. Satellite snaps, AWACS logs and signals traces converge on one conclusion. The shot came from a hardened launch site on China's southern coast. Under US rules of engagement, firing on an American aircraft in international airspace is not a misunderstanding. It's an attack. A secure link lights up between the Situation Room, the Joint Chiefs, and Indo-PACOM. A single B-2 represents 10% of America's stealth bomber fleet. Losing one is a $2.1 billion blow and a strategic earthquake. The commander-in-chief doesn't blink. Operation Iron Dagger is authorized. A limited, precise strike to blind, break, and bury the exact battery that pulled the trigger, while minimizing collateral damage. Countdown, 6 hours. Mission update. If this story matters to you, power it forward. We're pushing to 100,000. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and drop a like. Tell us where you're watching from. Comment your country below. Enjoy the rest of the video. Back to the mission in 3, 2, 1. The plan. Ghosts, jammers, and a hammer blow. By mid-morning, the skeleton of Iron Dagger is locked. This isn't a warning shot. It's a coordinated decapitation designed to erase the HQ-19 complex in under 90 seconds from first impact. The hammer. 2 B-2 Spirits, call signs Nightfall 1 and Nightfall 2, each loaded with GBU-31 V3/B JDAMs, 2,000-pound hardened penetrators with sub-10 meter CEP. Enough accuracy to hit a doorway from 25,000 feet, enough mass to drill through 5 feet of reinforced concrete before erupting inside. The Fangs. 2 F-35C Lightning IIs, their APQ-181 AESA radars, and distributed aperture system mapping the battle space, ready to fire AGM-88G AARGM-ER anti-radiation missiles the moment any short-range SAM radar dares to emit. The Lifeline. KC-46A Pegasus tankers, each holding 212,000 pounds of fuel, turning a 6,000 nautical mile round trip into a sure thing. The Fog Machine. From USS Ronald Reagan, 8 FA-18E Super Hornets toss ADM-160 MALDJ decoy/jammers, each one spoofing a bomber-sized radar return while blasting 500-watt noise across multiple bands. Chinese scopes will bloom with a forest of phantoms. The Blackout. EA-18G Growlers spool up ALQ-99 pods, projecting broadband jamming out past 150 miles. Enemy comms stutter, track files split. Ghosts multiply. 3 axes, 1 window. MALDs from the east, F-35Cs wide from the south. B-2s threading a low observable corridor from the southwest, their radar signatures smaller than a golf ball. Everything airborne, everything committed. Somewhere on the Chinese coast, an HQ-19 battery sits quiet, unaware that $6 billion in stealth aircraft, 80,000 pounds of precision ordnance, and 1 million pounds of jet fuel are already inbound to delete it. The run-in. The strike package crosses the commit line over the Philippine Sea. Nightfall 1 and Nightfall 2 slip to 31,000 feet, engines throttled to shrink infrared glow. Ahead, 32 MALDs flood early warning frequencies. On Chinese radar, A phantom wing of bombers barrels in from the east. The bait works. HQ-9 and HQ-22 launchers slew the wrong way. Trackers pivot. Resources drain. Low and wide, the F-35Cs rake the battle space. Their DOS can spot a missile plume from hundreds of miles away. Their AARGM-ERs are hot. The B-2s cross the coastline. APQ-181 synthetic aperture radar paints the target in sub-meter detail. 1 radar dome, 3 launchers, a hardened command bunker. All within a 3-acre fortress of concrete and blast walls. Weapons hot. In 15 seconds, 16 JDAMs tumble away in a staggered pattern, falling near Mach to their marks. The first pair decapitate the radar dome, collapsing a 60-foot array into twisted scrap. Secondary explosions cascade as subsequent hits rip open the launchers. Solid fuel boosters cook off in violent chain detonations. Final pairs punch into the command bunker, fuses delayed to blow deep, pulverizing consoles, servers, and hardened walls. From first impact to last detonation, 88 seconds. Where a cutting-edge air defense node stood, there's now a smoking, cratered scar. Fires burning at 2,000 degrees, ammunition cooking off for miles. The B-2s never break formation. No afterburner, no bravado, just a quiet bank to the exfil corridor, and back into invisibility. The F-35Cs linger to confirm via infrared. Radar cold. Launcher silent. Bunker collapsed. The message lands before the dust does. Over open water, the strike package clears the danger zone. A final satellite pass confirms what the jets already saw. 100% of the HQ-19 battery's combat capability, gone. Direct hardware losses, $350 to $400 million. Operationally, a 120-mile gap opens in China's coastal air defense lattice, a temporary blind spot over a key maritime corridor. A statement from Washington follows, backed by satellite imagery and radar logs. The shot at the B-2 was an unprovoked attack in international airspace. The response falls under Article 51 of the UN Charter, self-defense. We will defend our aircraft, our crews, and our freedom to operate wherever international law allows. Allies, the Philippines, Japan, Australia, voiced support within hours, calling the launch reckless and destabilizing. Markets wobble, then steady. The response was precise, contained, and unmistakable. Inside China's Eastern Theater Command, the scramble begins. Mobile HQ-19 units pulled inland. Radar frequencies shifted. Satellites repositioned to plug the Scarborough Gap. But the embarrassment lingers. A marquee anti-stealth battery, erased in minutes by aircraft it never saw. By sunrise, the B-2s are back in Guam, engines ticking cool in pre-dawn air. Mission duration, just over 9 hours. Distance covered, 6,000 nautical miles. Bomb tonnage delivered, 80,000 pounds. Radar locks received, 0. What changed and what didn't? Analysts will argue over tactics, but 3 truths are hard to miss. 1. Stealth still bends the battle space. Decades after debut, the B-2's low observable design continues to punch holes in modern IADS. 2. Networks win fights. Air, sea, cyber, and EW assets fused into one brain. Decoys to mislead, growlers to blind, 5th-gen fighters to hunt, bombers to end it. 3. Resolve matters. A fast, proportionate response resets deterrence without triggering a wider war. For allies, the strike reassures. Treaty lines are not dotted. For adversaries, a reminder. Detection does not equal survival. The South China Sea slides back to its uneasy calm. But a new constant hangs over the water. The next time a hostile radar paints an American aircraft, the clock won't start at 0. It will start at impact minus 90 seconds. If this left you breathless, you know what to do. Stick around. The next story picks up where this one left off.